Hi, welcome to Planetary Calendar's weekly forecast. I am Lahni one of the astrologers, and this week we're going to be talking about the coming week from May 9th to the 15th, 2022. And we start out with a sun parallel moon on Monday and a moon in Leo for most of the day. The moon will go void, of course, also most of the day, and it won't change into Virgo until 4 o'clock in the afternoon on the Pacific coast. So that void, of course, in Leo could be a little tough to navigate. So I wouldn't schedule things that need your 100% attention, and don't be married to any outcomes on that day. The sun parallel moon is just a little bit of help. It's not really as strong as a conjunction, but at least your head and your heart will be kind of going through the same kind of short attention span theater that the void, of course, sometimes lends to the day. But the next day, Tuesday the 10th, we have a well-deserved black box on that day. We've got a little bit of planetary turbulence with Jupiter entering Aries at 4:22 p.m., again, Pacific Coast time. But the big, the elephant in the room is that Mercury goes retrograde. Now, of course, we know Mercury goes retrograde 3 times a year for 3 weeks at a time. And once it's in a cycle where it's going in a air sign, all the retrogrades are going to be in air. So this time the Mercury is retrograde in Gemini, which the Mercury retrograde in Gemini is always a bigger challenge than other Mercury retrogrades. I know you're saying, oh, Mercury retrograde is always a challenge, but in Gemini, Mercury rules Gemini. Mercury thinks it should get to do what it wants to do when it's in Gemini. And then it goes retrograde. What is that? Turn a completely outward directed energy inward. And I've explained this before. It's like Gemini is the child holding his mother's hand just a little too tightly in the toy store. And he wants to run and touch everything. And mom is saying, no, you can't have it. Just think about it. Dream about it. So it's a really rough time. So hopefully you've prepared a little bit in advance. Don't have critical things scheduled for that time, especially if they have to do with subjects that are ruled by Mercury. So that's communication, it's small children, it's short distance travel. It's, we talk about the internet being related to Uranus and Aquarius, but there isn't a Mercury in Gemini quality to the internet as well. You do short little tweets and little messages. Be careful on social media not to post something that you can't take back. I think it's interesting that Twitter is considering a edit button, finally, after all this time. You send that tweet out in the world and it's there forever unless you can edit it. So, just be careful with that over the next 3 weeks and use the retrograde appropriately. And that means to tie up loose ends, the things that you started before that needed a few tweaks or a little more details. Those are the things that you should be doing for 3 weeks, as well as analyzing where that project is supposed to go. And maybe it may need to take a change of direction. So that's the appropriate way to use that. No bulk mailings, no mass emails, no, nothing like that with communications. Don't buy any new telephone systems or telephones or computers, anything like that. No. Wait for 3 weeks. You'll thank me. On Wednesday the 11th, we have a sun trine moon. Again, surprisingly, we didn't put a white circle on there. And that's because of Mars and Neptune. Mars and Neptune are still in Pisces at that time. We still have that overflow of that Pisces energy, that super Pisces, 4 or 5 bodies in Pisces at a time. So again, with that Mercury retrograde, use that time to kind of refine that inspirational positive aspects of all that Pisces energy. Use that time well. But as Sun trine Moon, it's a good day. We have the void of courses. I'm seeing that there's a little typo on the calendar, even though it got past 4 or 5 proofreaders. And that is that in the void of course time. The void of course ends at 11:34 p.m. as noted under the moon in Libra, rather than that 3:34. That's what we call a ghost in the machine. But so that void of course is late at night, so that should not affect you very much. Thank goodness you can't pile on to a Mercury retrograde. We've got a pretty open day on Thursday, the 12th, that moon in Libra. Maybe you can find some emotional balance during that day. Venus and Jupiter are still both in Pisces, so that's why they are under the number, because they're making a difficult aspect to the moon, but at least they have each other. So it's not as bad as what it looks. And Mercury is well aspected, so try to use that Mercury energy as best you can with that Libra moon. Moving on to Friday the 13th. Now, don't get all upset, you Tressadecaphobes. I was born on the 13th, although not on a Friday, so 13 has always been a lucky number for me, and it's just a number. Saturn is well aspected with that moon in Libra. Otherwise, you got a clear slate, decide what you want to do, and just go with it. Saturday the 14th, we have a similar situation. There's no aspects on the number. The void, of course, is in the early morning hours, so it really shouldn't affect your day very much. We move into a Scorpio moon for the whole day, so that Pluto below the number is before that moon changes sign, so that's not in effect all day long. It's just for a short period of time. So this is like another clear slate day. I would take the 13th, actually the 12th, 13th, and 14th. I would take those days for a breath in. Don't ask yourself to do too much or accomplish too much on those days, considering the retrograde and that there are no planets kind of pulling at your apron strings, because you got to save up your strength for the 15th, which is Sunday, the total eclipse at 25 degrees Scorpio. So anybody who has anything at 25 of fixed, certainly at Scorpio Taurus, that can be a profound day. That's why it warrants that black box day. Certainly not a day to begin things. Sun, of course, is opposite the moon, which defines the full moon. And to top it off, the sun is square Saturn. So this is a day where you go into your cave, you make plans, take in some snacks and some things to be kind to yourself, because this could be a rough day for people. I see Ralph has a footnote for D in the upper description. And my computer is letting me down. But I'm sorry to end the week on a down note there, but you can always look forward to next week when Ralph will give you the forecast for the next coming week. Look at our forecasts at Planetary Calendar Astrology on YouTube. We post them every Friday, and we have our astro portraits on Tuesdays. And if you haven't gotten your calendar, it's surprising, but a few of you forgot to get them. We're still sending them out. So you can get them at planetarycalendar.com. See you next time.